Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on Slanted Lens, I'm back out here where we photographed last week. We photographed this little pizza cart. It's a Dracari's pizza cart. These great little carts with neon on them. I've been shooting food trucks last little while and really enjoying it. I still have the Hasselblad X1D. So tonight though, I was not happy with the image I got here last week. It looked strobe lit. The lighting was not integrated with the scene, and I felt like I just kind of missed it. So tonight, I'm gonna take that same image, here's the image I shot the first time. I'm gonna go through 4 or 5 points on how I can integrate the light better and make that not look strobe lit and make it look like a much better image, a much nicer image. So we're gonna go from this image I shot a few nights ago to the image we're gonna shoot tonight. So let's get started and see what we can do. Lighting outside with strobes is a balancing act. We have several things going on. Let's say from 0 to 10 was intensity, 10's the sun, and 0 is complete dark. Well, there's two constants in this equation and one that is not constant. The one constant is the cart in the background. He turns all those neons on, and that's like a 3 on the scale. So it's gonna flatline at 3. It's gonna always be 3. Doesn't matter, it's not gonna get brighter, it's not gonna get darker, it's always gonna be 3. My strobes, I can dial them up or down, and I can get them to match that 3 of the cart so that it looks good on his face, the rim light, things we're going to use. But now the equation here that is going to change constantly is the sun. So strobes and cart bounced off at a 3, and the sun is up here at 10, and the sun slowly drops. Well, when the sun crosses the line at 3, I've got about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes where I got to stop to play with there, where I can get the cart is correctly exposed, my strobes are correctly exposed on his face, and the sun is bright enough in the background that I can see some blue in that sky, and it just looks really interesting. So that's the balancing act. So we're gonna bounce the strobes to the cart, and then we're gonna watch that sun go down. When it hits the right point, we're gonna shoot like crazy. Okay, so number one is where you place your light. If the light is on the right of your person in the background, then put your key on the right of the person. It doesn't matter if the light from the background couldn't possibly be lighting his face. It's a matter of getting it on the same side that visually the viewer is looking at, saying, oh, well, there's a light to the camera right. Well, then your key should come from camera right, and that feels comfortable to the viewer, and it works. So put your light on the side that is motivated by lights you have in the scene. Now, number two is the color of your light. If the background's kind of a warmish color, don't leave it 5,600 degrees, your strobe. Warm it just a little bit. I'm talking about a quarter of sun, a half a sun. Doesn't have to be a huge, like all the way to 3,200 degrees, but just warm it a little bit. It will feel more comfortable with the scene in the background, and it's gonna feel more seamless. I'm gonna use a beauty dish with a grid because I wanna keep the light under control. I don't want it to fall onto his legs. And then I'm gonna put a quarter sun inside of it, just so you can see it. If the scene is very cool, then cool it just a little bit. Not a lot. I'm talking about just taking the edge off from it and moving the color balance just a little bit away from 5,600 and closer to tungsten or to something more blue. Number three, your rim lights are really important. They're key to integrating your person into the background. If I'm looking at my image and I've got a red light on the right side of my person, then I'm gonna put a red rim on that same side. It's gonna get a little red light on his face, and it's gonna look as if the cart is lighting his face. It's not, but the viewer thinks and makes that connection. Same on the left-hand side. I've got blue up in the sky on that left-hand side. I'll put a blue rim light on that left-hand side, and it's gonna make it feel as though the light is coming from the right and left from behind and integrates him better into the background. Number four is drag your shutter and open up the shadows in the background. Now your shutter is going to affect the lights that are on the cart, the practicals, as well as the background light. So you wanna make sure you don't make your cart too bright. There's that moment where the sun's going down and it crosses the line of the intensity of the lights on your cart. At that moment, you have about 15 to 30 minutes to shoot. You can drag your shutter to make it a little longer, but eventually it's gonna get too long and it's gonna overexpose the lights on the cart. But what this does for me is it opens up the shadows. It gives me a much nicer look at the image. The person feels more integrated in the scene because we see a little detail in the trees in the background. We see that deep blue in the sky, and it just makes the image much nicer. Number five, be subtle with your strobe. Either use a grid, which I love because it narrows the area of coverage, and now you can just light the person's face and kind of their upper body, but the light starts to fall off. Anytime light gradates, it feels more comfortable, like it's natural lighting that we see every day. If you don't have a grid, then just feather the softbox. Tilt it up to get it off the ground, off the shirt, and feather it towards the camera. Aim it towards the camera. What that does is now it takes it off in the background and it's going to make it look much more natural, much more subtle. It's like a soft-handed approach to using a strobe rather than aiming it straight at the subject and it just looks blown out and overlit. Let's take a look at this lighting breakdown. There's my key light, that beauty dish up front, feathered up, and it's got a grid on it. There's the rim light from behind on the camera left side, red gel on it, gives us a little bit of red cast on his face. There's the rim light on the camera right side, a little bit of blue light, kind of integrates with that blue background back there. Now I'm going to lengthen the shutter and give myself a nice blue background. So here's a portrait I did the other night. It was nice enough, but it needed something. Here's that same portrait using those 5 principles. Makes a huge difference. So there you have it, 5 tips on how to use your strobes to integrate your person with the background and feel like they're not strobe lit. I love lighting with strobes, and if they're done correctly, it looks fabulous. So make sure you subscribe to us here at The Slanted Lens. Leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Post some of your images over on our Facebook group. Go over and check out our downloads over at theslantlens.com and keep those cameras rolling and keep on clicking. Let's take a look at my Edelkrone Travel Kit in that SKB 1309 case. Edelkrone Slider 1, Syrup 67mm variable ND filter, Edelkrone Flex Tilt Head, Syrup 82mm variable ND filter, Edelkrone Head 1, 2 hex wrenches, Edelkrone Head 1, Edelkrone 90-degree brackets for Head 1, hex wrenches, USB cable, Manfrotto plate, step-down rings, cables, LP batteries in a Shutterbrand case, more cables. Nothing travels like an Edelkrone slider in a 1309 SKB case.